This is a SarahNET Radio special presentation, Iron Dog Insider. Here's your host, Kevin Scholla.
Welcome to our SarahNET Radio special, Iron Dog Insider. The big race coming up February 16th through the 22nd, and four-time champion Todd Palin is in it once again. This time, though, with a new partner. We'll be joined by Todd Palin in just a moment, plus we'll hear from his new partner, and the sponsor of Team 11 will stop by as well. The Iron Dog is an incredible competition, and the fact that Palin has won it four times is really incredible. It's over 2,000 miles from Big Lake to Nome to Fairbanks, and along the way, things get rough. It started back in 1984, and it is the longest snow machine race in the world. It's gotten longer over the years. The only year they didn't run it was 2003 due to lack of snow. That is not a problem this year, and Todd Palin is among the competitors once again. Todd Palin, welcome to Iron Dog Insider on SarahNET Radio. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thank you, Kevin.
So a new partner for you this year, Tyler Huntington, a guy who's had some big success like yourself. Huntington's won the race twice. He was injured last year. Why the pairing with Tyler, and how are things going with him as you get ready for this year's race?
No, it's Tyler's. He's got a proven record. He was Polaris snow machine top racer the last 4 years. He missed last year due to an injury out there practicing, but he won it in 2010 and 2011. But he's just a solid, proven racer. He knows the Yukon like the back of his hand. He's from Galena, which is on the Yukon, and the Huntington family goes up and down the Yukon River, so that's a huge plus for our team to have local boy throughout the course of the Yukon and going up to Tana on everything. But Scott and I had a great run. I think we raced together 9 times, and we enjoyed working on sleds together, enjoyed riding. We were always trying to get Scott that number 8 win so that he wouldn't be tied with John Faye for number 7. So we decided to shake it up a little bit this year, and he's got a new young partner, and I've got Tyler, and we're looking good.
Now, you've won 4 times. What has to happen for everything to go right and have a chance to win? Because I know you told me in the past, sometimes the driver, you dot all the I's and cross the T's, but then a mechanical failure nails you.
Well, myself and Scott Davis and a few others, we're the old guys in the race competing against guys that between 25 and 35 and years of experience and probably a lot faster. But this race is 2,000 miles, and you kind of have to compare it to a college football season. You have to have a perfect record, to get to that championship podium. And, at the end of the day, you could have a perfect run and everything, and then Mother Nature could throw you a curveball, anywhere along that 2,000-mile course. So you just have to have a clean run. You have to be steady, and everything's kind of got to click. You can't wrench on your sleds, because when you work on your sleds, everything's on the clock.
You're also helping to raise awareness and money for breast cancer this year. How did that come about?
Well, I think that you can talk to any family in our nation, and they know somebody that's been affected by breast cancer, and we're just honored to be a part of raising breast cancer awareness. With the Iron Dog and our sponsors, Compost and Fairbanks, Alaska Mining and Diving in Anchorage. They started that idea, and then Skidoo got behind it, and it's a good thing. So anytime that we could, raise some funds and get some more attention to breast cancer is a good thing, and just add support to those who have survived breast cancer and those who are going through breast cancer. Just support them.
Will Governor Palin and the kids be there to see you off this time? They
always are. This time of year is pretty crazy. A lot of training miles. So I got about 3,000 miles on my practice sled. It does a couple things. It's an identical sled that, you race with, and you find all the weak spots, and then also get you in shape too. But they'll be there. A lot of teams have a lot of concerns right now. We had that warm January weather, was 54 degrees and melted all the snow, and the river's starting to open up, and so now everything's kind of freezing back up.
You talk about the training. How do you get ready for a race like this? What's a typical training day like?
Well, the weekends we'll try to do, 400 to 600 miles in a couple days. and then in the middle of the week we'll try to get another couple hundred in. But Tyler, he works on the North Slope 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. He's got a beautiful family with three boys, and he just had a baby in October. So, 3 boys under 6 is a pretty busy household. So, wherever we get a chance to ride and test, we take advantage of it night or day.
And what about the day it starts, Todd? Do you get a lot of rest before? Is that a day to really rest up before the big start of things?
Well, this is my 21st race, and, it always comes down to the wire. The last-minute stuff, it never changes, and, we think that we're going to be prepared, but there's always something that pops up, because when you put so many miles on your practice sled, and then stuff starts to break and wear, and then you start to reinforce that on your race sleds. But, it's like anything. If you're going to train for a marathon, you're going to go out and put the miles in and put the time in. And, snow machining is different. You have to be real athletic, but in shape, and riding will get you in shape. You could give me a guy that spends 2-3 hours in the gym, and I could ride him 50 miles, and I guarantee you he'll be sore to the point where he couldn't walk the next day.
And along the way, this thing takes days. Can you tell people, especially outside of Alaska, how it works? You stop to eat and sleep?
Well, the Iron Dog, a team consists of 2 drivers and 2 snowmobiles, as you call them down south, and that is for safety. And we have mandatory gear, sleeping bags, enough food for a couple of days. And, you travel together, you work together, and the name of the game is you're staying together, and you take off, and we have mandatory layovers northbound, 3-4 different locations you can take those layovers. So like the first day we'll do, 370 miles in a day, and then take 14 hours, and then you wake up, you do another 350 miles, you take it 8, and then you do another 350 miles, you take it 8, and then by Tuesday afternoon we'll be in Nome. We leave Big Lake about Sunday, and 22 hours later we're down the trail 1,050 miles.
Now, you've had so much experience in this event. What was the toughest experience you've had in the Iron Dog over the years?
Well, losing the race by 1 second in 2006, that's a pretty bad one. Worked so hard, and we took second place in 05 and 04 and 5, and then losing 2,000-mile race by 1 second when there was some stuff that happened at the end of the race where we had a big collision with the other team. We were fighting it out, duking it out to the last mile, and I felt that year should be like the co-championship, but others felt differently.
Now, you say us down south, referring to Americans in the 48 contiguous states, and a lot of us are well-versed on football and baseball, basketball, hockey, even NASCAR, but not many know the Iron Dog too well. What would be appealing about it, say, for a newcomer, or someone who's never seen it before? What would you say to someone who has never checked out Iron Dog, and to kind of sell it to them and say, listen, this is something you might want to take a look at?
Well, there's 2 different classes in the Iron Dog. You have the pro class, where you're racing for money prizes, then you have the recreational class, and they'll take off from Big Lake, Alaska, and go to Nome. And, it's just a scenic driving across some of the most brutal terrain in the state, Alaska range, and when the weather's nice, it's just a beautiful ride out on the Bering Sea, on the ice pack, cruising, and going through all the villages, because the villages, Kevin, in the wintertime, the trails are the main highways for these villages. You could, in the summertime, you got to fly into these places or boat, but when winter rolls around, the villagers are able to, access to other communities and go to their community events.
Can we track your progress this year?
Iron Dog website, they've got, we used to have GPS trackers, but now we have, I think we're using the Spot this year. But if you go to their website, you'll be able to track any team and see their progress.
What about your kids? They get a kick out of this? I was going to say Trigg and Piper, but, really, you've been doing this so long. I guess Track and Bristol and Willow certainly were younger or babies when you started this. So over the years, what have your kids thought of this? This has to be pretty cool when Dad's going out doing this every year. Well,
it's a family event. Everybody kind of picks up the slack when I'm kind of MIA for a couple of months training and getting ready, and that happens to every team. If the family wasn't behind all the participants, then they wouldn't be able to allow to go out and participate in this event. But no, they enjoy it. They like it most when I'm up front.
Absolutely. Well, Todd, we wish you the best, of course, and pray for your safety. And it's wonderful that you're also helping out with breast cancer in the process, and maybe you have a big fifth win waiting for you with this new Palin-Huntington partnership. Todd Palin, all the best, sir.
Well, Kevin, thanks for what you're doing, and thanks for sharing the Iron Dog race with your listeners, and all the best to you.
Now we're going to bring in Todd Palin's partner for the race here, team number 11. He is Tyler Huntington, a two-time champion. Tyler, welcome to the program. How are you, sir?
Doing good. How about you?
Very well. We appreciate you being here, and a lot of folks really excited about this new partnership with you and Todd Palin. So many championships between the two of you, so a lot of experience there, but you two together racing for the first time. Do you think that that's something you need to do in the Iron Dog every once in a while, mix things up as far as the chemistry to try to get that winning equation?
Yeah, you kind of see it throughout the field. People try different things with different partners and different brands of machines and everything, just trying to come up with the right combination to make the winning team, and I've always thought for a long time that Todd and I would be a good team and good match, and I've been bugging him for years to team up, but just finally came together.
Well, that is great. I mean, I know so many people are excited about it, and now you have an interesting story here because, you're a younger guy, but you've won twice already. You have that resume, but you're coming back from an injury. Tell listeners who may not know what happened last time around and how you're doing with that.
Yeah, last year, actually about 1 year and 8 days ago, we were out training out on the Bering Sea coast there, out by Shatulik and stuff, and we were going at a good pace, 90, 95 miles an hour, and kind of lost the trail, got disoriented a little bit, and then I found the trail, and I was kind of trying to straight line my way back to the trail, and in between me and the trail was a big pile of wood, a big drift pile that came in from tidal surge or something, and then about 90, and it was windy out, ground storm and whatnot, and smacked right into the log and flew off, and then my first initial hit, as soon as I hit the ground again, going through the air, was another log right through my pelvic bone, and ended up busting that up pretty good. So,
a lot of people suffer injuries in any sport of that magnitude might say, okay, I'm good here. You must really love this sport to come back from something like that and to work toward it and to get back on the snow machine.
Yeah, I guess I would just call it quits. Would have been like letting Iron Dog get the best of me, So I've even when I was laying there hurt and everything, I was still thinking of ways I could get back onto a machine and get back to racing and everything. It's just what we all love doing up here, and it's a lot of fun. So.
Well, that's that Alaska spirit you have there, Tyler, and just that athletic spirit too. You see so many times. We see football players carted off. What is the first thing they're doing? They're giving that thumbs up to the crowd, which even when they know they're probably in for months of rehab, they're saying, I'll be back. So I think that's people who maybe aren't into sports may not understand that. But you certainly, a lot of people are rooting for you because of that injury. You're feeling good now? You're 100%?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm definitely not what I used to be. I have to work a little harder at it. Get in a lot better shape and put on a lot more training miles and everything. So, but I'd like to say that I'm just as fast as before the accident. But it's it still get some sharp pains here and there, but nothing I can't handle. So.
What about the partnership with Todd Palin so far? I mean, you're interesting because you do both have multiple championships, so are you able to kind of rack each other's brains and talk to each other about what you've both done, and now you're trying to put that together for a combination of a winning combination together?
Yeah, and Todd switched over to Ski-Doo last year, and this is my first year in Ski-Doo, and he's done a lot of homework on these things. He's did a lot of research and testing and everything, and this is kind of all his idea, running the Renegade and everything, and the longer track, a little different machine and whatnot. So everything's working out really good, and I think on the drive out here we were just talking, and he won the Iron Dog his third time around, and I won my fourth time around, and so kind of trying to put all that together and trying to get the win.
Well, Tyler, we are certainly rooting for you, and so happy that you're healthy again, and really excited to see this combination with you and Todd Palin. Best of luck to you, sir, and thank you for being with us today.
Yep, thank you.
Now we bring in Craig Campo. He is a Fairbanks, Alaska Ski-Doo dealer, and he's sponsoring the Palin-Huntington team. Craig, how did Todd and Tyler look as they get ready for race day?
Boy, they're going to be tough to beat. The sleds are running great. They had great mileage and great performance on their practice sleds. I talked to Todd quite a bit. Tyler, works up north a lot, and so I don't get to talk to him as much. But I think they're riding together today, practicing. But I tell you what, Todd seems really excited about the sled. He chose a little bit longer track model than everybody else, and I think he's got a reason. And he's a veteran. Todd knows what he's doing. Tyler's a young, really good driver, so you got the best combination, I think, between those guys.
You were the force behind this breast cancer initiative. How can people help out?
Well, it's easy. All they've got to do is there's a website that's bringhomethepink.org, and they can go there, and then they can either choose to make a straight donation, any amount they want. It could be $1, it could be $10,000, and then they can do that, or they can go and pledge any dollar amount they want per Ski-Doo finisher that has the pink tips on the Ski-Doo. So if you have let's say it's $5 and 10 Ski-Doo teams finish, that's 20 sleds times $5. That's a $100 donation, and we appreciate every dollar we get for this fantastic group of volunteers that do a lot for breast cancer up here.
You've been around the Iron Dog a long time. What do you think the keys to the race will be this year?
I think it's going to come down to just experience. There's a lot of rookie teams in it this year, and the problem with the rookie teams, they get a little bit too much fired up, and there's a town called McGrath that's pretty much the end of the first day. I think it's about 400 or 500 miles from Anchorage, 400 miles or something like that, and many times there's teams that get there first, and they're pretty much done at that point. They've either hurt themselves or the machine or something, but they're just a little too excited. It's a long race. And you can't win if you don't at least get to know them. You got to get to know them, and then from there on you can get on it a little bit. But just patience, keeping it rubber side down. And these guys that are Todd and Tyler, they know how to do that. They're very, very savvy, smart riders. They know how to work on them. That's a big deal. A lot of guys, they just aren't as savvy. They don't really have the mechanical knowledge. These guys can do whatever it takes to keep the machines going, and that's what it takes.
Well, you mentioned experience. Todd Palin and Tyler Huntington combined 6 championships, so I guess as best a shot as anybody if you look at that category.
Yeah, they're definitely one of the elite teams, and I think a lot of people are worried about those guys. Todd's really got a lot of experience on the trail, and Tyler's won it. I mean, these guys know what it takes to win, and a majority of the teams that are riding out there, they just don't. I mean, there's a lot of skill involved in this race. But there's also a lot of luck. There's been really good teams having a great race, and then something happened, just 20 miles short of the finish line. I remember watching Todd coming in one time, and this is a 2,000-mile race. Unfortunately, he lost. He didn't get first, but he missed by 2 seconds. He missed. He got second place by 2 seconds in a 2,000-mile race. I mean, just imagine that. So. Anyway, they know what they're doing. I think my money's on these guys this year.
Incredible. Anything certainly could happen. We're looking forward to it. Thank you, Craig.
You bet. Thank you.
Now, if you'd like to track the Iron Dog this year, February 16th through the 22nd, you can log on to irondog.org. And, of course, go Palin Huntington. They are team number 11 in the massive field of pro-class teams this year. We pray for safety for all the participants and look forward to a great race. The Iron Dog coming up later this month. Our thanks to everyone here at SarahNET Radio. Thanks to Todd Palin, Tyler Huntington, and Craig Campo for joining us today. Also, special thanks to the great band Missing Stateside. For more on the race, head to SarahNetRadio.net. You can also follow us on Twitter at SarahNET Radio and like SarahNET Radio on Facebook. This has been a SarahNET Radio special presentation, Iron Dog Insider. I'm Kevin Scholla. Have a pleasant day.